What's up, nerds and nerdettes and we little nerdlings all? To your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am back! I'm back and I'm feeling good. A little overcast today, a little bit of a coolness in the air. I'm loving this. This is my kind of weather, 100%. And I gotta say something, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been in this spot to do the video, and in the last couple of weeks that I've been here, wow, has this overgrown. I'm loving this. I feel like I should be doing a video for for a game about the woods and survival, but I'm not today. All right, so welcome back everyone to Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. This is a series where I'm telling you about a game I enjoy. This isn't a review, this isn't a how-to, this isn't a first impression. This is a game that I enjoy. This is a series about me telling you, as if I'm telling my friends what I want to tell them to get them to sit down and play a particular game. And the game we're talking about today is a very familiar game, even though you may not have heard of it. So the game I'm talking about today, Crazier 8's Camelot. The reason I had to pause this is because there's a couple of different ones. It's not the only one. In fact, it has a standalone / expansion game, Avalon, that can be played by itself or can be added onto the main game. And there's another new one coming out, 1001 Nights. Now these games, you know these games. The reason you know these games is, listen to the title, Crazier 8's. That's right. These are variations of the Uno, a Crazy 8 card game. Now, a lot of us, I grew up playing Crazy 8s with my parents. It was a family game. I'm sure many people out there know Crazy 8s for a similar reason. It's a very fun, easy, family-friendly game that you can sit down with your friends or family, kids, parents, and you can sit down and you have a good time playing this game. So what is up with Crazier 8's Camelot? All right, so the creator of the game, James Gray, what he did was he took a common concept that we're all familiar with, and he added a fantasy feel to it, specifically King Arthur. That caught my attention. Right out of the bat, that caught my attention. King Arthur was one of the first things I ever, as the phrase goes, cut my teeth on as far as mythologies go. I remember, I think the first thing I ever saw was probably Disney's Sword in the Stone. As far as my memory goes, that's the first time I ever encountered King Arthur. And then a number of years later, I got the chance to watch the much more adult version of the King Arthur story in Excalibur. And I was hooked. From that point on, I read everything I could about King Arthur. I studied it. I fell in love with this mythology, with the whole concept of the Knights of the Round Table. Yeah, chivalry. Oh, it really just set in deep within me. And when I found a couple of years ago that somebody had made a Crazy 8 Uno-style game based on King Arthur, I had to check it out, and I'm glad I did. Me and the 20-Sided Warriors all love this game. It's a great game, it's a fun game, and as I keep saying, it's a familiar game. You already know the rules, more or less, pretty much it's all the same. Now there's a couple of differences. Now one thing I like about this game is that it adds in, every card is one of two different types. It's either an event card or it's an asset card. An event cards are one time played. You play them from your hand, you put them down, you read the effect takes place. Now when you're done with that, you're gonna put the card at the bottom of the deck, because remember, this is still Uno Crazy 8 style. So when you discard a card, normally when you get to that phase of the game and you're discarding, because you know you wanna win, you're gonna need no cards in your hand. Not necessarily in this game. Anyway, I'll get back to that. So the event and asset cards. Let me start over. The event cards, one time you play them, you put them underneath the discard deck, because they have nothing to do with the hand. You know, just like the normal Crazy 8 Uno game, you're trying to get down to 0 cards in your hand, and you need to match the color, you need to match the suit, or you got to put down a wild card. In this case, 8s. Now, the different card types, so the events, they happen right away. If an event says that you get to take cards from someone, or give cards to someone, or maybe someone has to draw more cards. That happens. That card goes in the bottom of the deck. Easy enough. Now those are the event cards. Now the asset cards, they stay in what's called your play area. Now normally in an Uno Crazy Eights game, you don't have a play area, right? You got your hand. So here you have your hand and you have your play area. So if you have an asset card, that's going to be put in your play area, and whenever the right conditions come up, as are written on each specific asset card, that will take effect. Some of the asset cards will allow you to manipulate other players' decks. Some of them will allow you to manipulate your own hand. Each card will tell you when it's allowed to happen. Sometimes it happens automatically in your turn. Sometimes it happens in response to another card or action being played. So these are the main two differences that you're going to find in this game and the more common Crazy 8 style game. But because of this, you know it, and it's familiar, and it's easy to start on the table. You just have to keep track of the event and the asset cards. I keep trying to mispronounce that, and I don't know why. Anyway, so your asset cards are... I have won the game with asset cards. On at least 2 occasions, I've had the right asset cards and the right other cards in play that'll say, if you have these cards in play, at the end of your turn, you win. So I've lost games, I've won games, and not all the games I've won because I've gotten 0 cards in my hand. So that's another thing. It adds a sort of strategy to the game that you're not going to find in a normal Crazy 8 or Uno style game. Definitely. Now, another thing you may have been noticing with the pictures I've been throwing up here is every time I've done, whether it's a review, a how-to play, first impressions, one thing I've always done, because I feel like I have to, is mentioning the art on these cards. I mean, the art is amazing. It's beautiful. These where I live in New York City, I live next to the cloisters. Well, not right next to it. It's not like I walk out the door and boom, there it is. But I live close enough to the cloisters that my entire life I've been to the cloisters more times than I can count. And when I play this game, I feel like I'm walking through the tapestry room. Because that's what the artwork is. The artwork is real medieval style artwork. At least almost most of the cases on the cards, it all is. So the beautiful level of these cards is amazing. Sometimes I can't stop looking at the cards. It's easily, probably, visually the most beautiful game I own. That is 100% true as far as I can tell off the top of my head. Nothing else is popping up in there to scream at me, no, John, wait a second, this is more beautiful. That's not happening. Right now, as far as I can think of, no game I have, whether it has great art, great minis, or so-so, nothing compares to the artwork in Camelot and Avalon. It is amazing. Like I said, I just look at these cards all day long and just be fascinated by them. So overall, it's a fast game, it's an easy game to play, and it's a game going into it everyone is going to know, whether they know the game or not the first time they sit down at the table. Crazier 8's Avalon, Crazier 8's Camelot. Like I said, they're coming out with the Crazier 8's 1001 Arabian Nights, which, much like the Camelot game, is based on the mythology of King Arthur. This is based on the story of 1001 Arabian Nights. And that's kind of cool, too. I'm looking forward to getting that game and adding that to my collection. And don't quote me on this yet, but I am pretty sure that all of the different Crazier 8's games you would be able to combine. I don't really see why, but until I get a copy of 1001 Arabian Nights to test that theory, I'm not 100% sure. But the way the game is set up, the way the rules are, the way the cards are, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Now, why you would want to mix the two myths, I don't know. But maybe you do. Who cares? Mix them if you're able to. And if you don't want to mix them, then don't mix them. I don't care. And you shouldn't care if I do one or the other either. All right, so Crazier 8's Camelot, Avalon, 1001 Arabian Nights. These are games you and your friends are going to love. Now, maybe it's not going to be a kind of game you plan the entire game day around. Let's be honest and put that right up front. Maybe a nice 2-hour game night one night. But if you're doing a whole game day, this might not be the game to spend the entire day on. But you know what? Especially if you're going to be playing a fantasy game, this is a great game to get you in the mood. Great game. And if it's a specific King Arthur game, like Shadows over Camelot or something, I don't know what a better setup game before you start that epic would be. It keeps you in the mind frame. All right, so that was it. I just want to come out and tell you about that game, Crazier 8's Camelot, Crazier 8's Avalon, by How do you pronounce the name? I know I got it up here. Recoculous. Recoculous. I always have trouble saying that company's name. James Gray is the creator of the game. And James, thank you for bringing us this great game. Definitely thank you. So, and everyone out there, I want to say thank you to all of you also. Thank you for following us on Twitter. Thank you for liking us on Facebook. Thank you for putting up with our occasional foray into Instagram. And also, as I always say, thank you, everyone. Thank you for subscribing to the Two Gun Pixie YouTube channel. It means a heck of a lot to me and the 20-Sided Warriors, knowing that we're doing this for a reason other than ourselves. So thank you all. I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.